Okay. Imagine you're at the top of your class with very little competition. Maybe you're a great athlete or you excel in a certain academic subject. Now imagine that someone new to your community arrives and presents a lot of competition and destruction to your world. This is the predicament of the California newt. With the introduction of the invasive crayfish, the California newt has experienced population declines. I want to first talk with you about the problem of the California newt and their declines, and then explain some of the causes that contribute to the decline of the California newt, and then encourage you on several ways that you can join current efforts to help protect the California newt from becoming critically endangered. And you might guess that the solution involves trapping, but first I want to provide some biological background that motivates the problem of the California newt. Globally, amphibian populations are declining. This graph illustrates Earth's biomes where the red legend indicates the number of critically endangered and the orange legend indicates the number of vulnerable species. This graph visualizes a global assessment of the amphibian population by the IUCN Red List in 2008. And this study was updated in 2016. And two of the major findings of this study are that nearly 1/3 of the amphibian populations are extinct or critically threatened, and at least 42% of the amphibian species are experiencing population declines. And this decline is occurring in California also. In a study by Dr. Blaustein in Oregon State University, he documented several effects that contribute to the amphibian population decline. These include invasive species, drought, habitat destruction, which occurs in the form of increased wildfires and urbanization. And one species in particular in Southern California that has experienced these population declines, like I mentioned, is the California newt. The California newt is considered a species of special concern in the state of California and is native to the Santa Monica Mountain streams near Pepperdine campus. And a study conducted by Dr. Katz and Dr. Ganrat showed that there have been observed population declines due to factors involving drought and invasive species. This newt lays eggs once per year and is long-lived at 30 years. And so now I want to explain more about the causes of the drought and the invasive species that are contributing to these population declines. Since 2012, California has experienced a record-setting drought. A study by Dr. Cook in 2015 describes this drought as unprecedented with elevated temperatures and a substantial moisture deficit. This map of the state of California visualizes a study done by the U.S. Drought Monitor, and it is updated weekly. And the shading of the map shows how severe the drought is. And you can notice that Malibu in Santa Monica Mountain streams, where the California newt inhabits, is experiencing exceptional drought. And also, the invasive crayfish is contributing to the population declines of the California newt. This is an invasive predator that preys on the amphibian newt eggs and is very aggressive. In a study done by Dr. Katz and Dr. Ganrat in the late 1990s, they documented the aggressive behavior of the California newt and also quantified the effects of this aggressive behavior on the newt population. They're native to the southeast, and they lay eggs multiple times per year, so they really are short-lived and they proliferate in the streams. And they are a problem because since they are invasive, the California newt grows up in their ecosystem without having any protective mechanism for these crayfish. And so the crayfish eat the eggs, they attack the newts, and they have this burrowing behavior which causes erosion in the streams, and they also contribute to poor water quality, so they damage the habitat of the California newt. And the newts are ecologically important. One study by Dr. Davik in the 2011 showed that the California newt is a secondary consumer. So it is a predator and a prey, and there are multiple species in the stream that depend on this newt and their persistence. And the California newt, a decline in their population can indicate a change in the stream health. And also, they live just near campus. This is a map, and the P denotes Pepperdine, and you can see Cold Creek in red, Malibu Creek in pink, and Trancas Creek in blue. And in a study by Dr. Katz, he characterized each of these streams. In Cold Creek, the newts inhabit the stream in the absence of crayfish. In Trancas Creek, there's coexistence. And in Malibu Creek, there's local extinction of the California newt. So this is a problem. But there is a solution, and you can help contribute to preventing this decline in the California newt. The Pepperdine Volunteer Center organizes events with Mountain Restoration Trust to trap crayfish. And you can join one of these events. This picture is taken from the Step Forward Day this year, where we went through the canyon and helped trap crayfish. And so some of the things you would be doing on this event is you would be trapping a crayfish, pictured here, and these are the traps that you would encounter in the stream that you would be collecting. And you can see how aggressive they look. They have a bright red color and big pinchers. But if you don't want to wait for a Pepperdine event, then you can contact Mountain Restoration Trust directly with their program of Join or Adopt a Creek. So Mountain Restoration is a nonprofit organization, and they received an $800,000 grant to restore Malibu Creek. And what you would be doing with Adopt a Creek is you would be going with your friends and you'd be trapping crayfish and collecting data. And in the Los Angeles Times, they described an outing with the Pepperdine students in Mountain Restoration Trust. And one of the statistics was that nearly 44,000 crayfish had been trapped in the year of 2015. And they average about 600 crayfish a day. So that gives you an idea of just how many crayfish are in the stream. And this article was in 2015. But if you don't want to do that, there's also, you can go out into the stream and conduct research and ask biological questions. And by conducting research and asking questions, you can raise the awareness of the California newt and help their cause receive funding, and so that people like Mountain Restoration Trust can get grants and restore the creek. And so in conclusion, the California newt has experienced population declines. There are two causes for this population decline, including drought and invasive crayfish, but there are ways that you can help this decline and help prevent them from becoming critically endangered, which is by joining a Pepperdine and volunteer event, or joining Adopt a Creek and helping to remove trapped crayfish, or you can conduct research and try to help raise awareness for the problem of the population decline. And I hope that you have found an inspiration in saving a newt and trapping a crayfish.
Okay.